Hello everyone, this is David from Automotive Press. We have an amazing and super exciting news today from Lexus because they are finally taking the wraps off their new battery electric vehicle called the RZ450e or RZ450e, depending where you live. And it's the most exciting entry because this is a revolution that's happening at Lexus. Along with Toyota, its parent company, they are actually going through the entire transformation of their company from a ICE or internal combustion engine based transportation company to a battery electric vehicle company. And during that transition, there are going to be a lot of changes in terms of their strategy, their product makeup, in terms of how they service the customers. So a lot of stuff is coming through the pipeline, and this is perhaps the beginning of that exciting journey. And there's so much interesting things to share with you that I can barely hold back my excitement. So let's get right into it. Welcome back. Now, why am I so excited about this new Lexus battery electric vehicle called the RZ or RZ? Because unlike other electric vehicle manufacturers, you can count on Toyota really focusing on QDR, quality, durability, and reliability over the lifetime of its vehicles so that people who own it can continue to use for many years to come without worrying about losing the battery efficiency or worrying about manufacturing defects and other things that might plague other automakers. We know for sure Toyota and Lexus are going to produce some of the best vehicles in the world, partly because this thing was designed, developed, and engineered in Japan, and also built in Japan at Motomachi factory, which is one of the proven and the most reliable factories in the world. So I think there is a strategic difference in terms of how Lexus and Toyota are approaching this whole electrification. Instead of trying to cram in as much technology as possible at the risk of durability and reliability, Toyota is taking a slightly safer approach to make sure that things are not overloaded, that all the components are carefully engineered and calibrated to maximize reliability. So even though the Lexus RZ might not have the longest range, the most amount of power, or the fastest charging time, what we're going to get instead is the most reliable set of components and system that is going to give you many years of trouble-free driving. And that is a signature of Lexus. And in addition, Lexus is promising a truly fun-to-drive experience that is going to be unlike any other Lexus they've had in the past. And that is partly due to the fact that the car was developed, engineered, and calibrated in Lexus' new technical center called the Toyota Technical Center Shimoyama. And in that test circuit, I have no doubt that some of the best engineers and best technicians have worked on the RZ to create the type of driving feel that is unique to its own brand. Now, the Lexus RZ might not be a low-volume specialized vehicle like the Lexus LC or Toyota GR Yaris, which are all produced by some of the best technicians called the Takumi members. These are the guys with a most experienced knowledge and insight about manufacturing, and they are building these specialized vehicles. But I have no doubt the Takumi members and Takumi specialists have had a lot of contribution and input in creating this RZ or RZ. And therefore we can count on the RZ having the smoothest, most refined feel that is going to be very difficult to be matched by other automakers who tend to rush into developing their electric cars. Toyota and Lexus take their time to get it right the first time, and there's no question in my mind, especially having driven the Toyota bZ4X, that the RZ will amaze you and wow you with a sense of driving that I'm sure will be very unique to Lexus. According to Takashi Watanabe, who is a chief engineer at Lexus, the secret sauce or secret recipe of the new Lexus RZ is what they call a direct-4 technology or direct-4 drive. This is an all-wheel drive system that changes its ratio of the power and torque based on driver's input. It can actually go from 100% to the front wheels all the way to 100% to the rear wheels and everything in between based on exactly how you're driving the vehicle. This is unique to Lexus and also to Toyota, and I think this is one of the differentiation between the Lexus RZ and many of the competitors that are now appearing in the marketplace. Based on the new e-TNGA platform, the Lexus RZ does share its basic architecture with the newly introduced Toyota bZ4X, which I have driven quite extensively. And there's nothing wrong with that because they want to make sure that both Toyota and Lexus create and develop their own unique style of cars with their own characters, but they do want to share the common parts and common platform to reduce cost and time to develop these new vehicles. But there are a number of items that are very unique to Lexus, including for the very first time, optional and available steer-by-wire system. And with that system, there's no longer an actual mechanical connection between the steering wheel and the wheels. Everything is controlled by electronic or electric mechanism, and so they can do a lot of creative things that you cannot normally do in a normal steering mechanism. So for example, the steering angle is set at 150 degrees, which means when you're making tight turns or U-turns, or when you're trying to make a really small turns at parking lots, you don't have to do hand over hand anymore. You just have to make smaller adjustments to the steering to make a full turn. And this design allows Lexus to offer a yoke steering wheel, which is going to be quite an interesting concept to have. On the manufacturing side of things, they are using things like laser welding and structural adhesive to make sure that the body is tight, is structurally sound, and is extremely rigid. And all that is combined with the manufacturing capability of the new electric car factory within the Moto Magic factory in Japan. Combine that with a new acoustic glass in front and rear, supported by a new McPherson front suspension and a trailing arm double wishbone suspension in the rear. The RZ should give you a very quiet, very stable, very agile character that we are really looking forward to drive in. In terms of exterior design, it showcases some really unique attributes that I think is the beginning of a new Lexus brand. Talking about the design, Lexus will indeed offer this unique bicolor or two-tone treatment that we saw in one of the previous images released by Toyota. So there will be a blacked out treatment going from the front of the car all the way through the hood to the roof. That will give a very unique look. Not sure if this is for everyone, but I think it's really cool and another element that will differentiate it from a cheaper Toyota cousin, the bZ4X. Other things to keep in mind is that the Lexus RZ will have the latest safety features using Lexus Safety Sense 3.0 and also the highest level of technology inside the cabin, which includes a 14-inch infotainment system that is similar to what we now see in the Lexus NX. Going back to the Safety Sense, it's going to offer everything from the pre-collision system PCS to dynamic radar cruise control, lane departure alert, and emergency driving stop system or EDSS. Those are all expected, but Lexus RZ will also offer available advanced parking system. To finish off the interior, there is a panoramic roof which is equipped with Lexus dimming function, so you can actually change the amount of light coming through into the cabin area. I assume this is something similar to the Toyota Venza's sky roof. The final piece of the puzzle that is not fully revealed are the motor output. We do know that there will be a 150 kilowatt motor in the front and 80 kilowatt motor in the rear, with a range of up to about 360 kilometers. And even though Lexus has not revealed the actual horsepower rating for the Lexus RZ, we can make some assumptions because in the bZ4X, in the all-wheel drive version, we have 214 horsepower, but in the case of Toyota, they have two 80 kilowatt motors, whereas in the Lexus, we have a 150 kilowatt motor combined with an 80 kilowatt motor. So it has a much larger motor in the front and the same motor size in the rear with the bZ4X. So doing a quick calculation shows that most likely the Lexus will have a combined power of 310 horsepower, which is substantially more than 214 horsepower from the Toyota bZ4X. The final numbers are not revealed or announced by Lexus, so those are things we still have to wait for. But I'm excited because it has so much more power and torque than the bZ4X while still maintaining a 360 kilometer range, which is actually very good. So are you as excited as I am about Lexus' new battery electric vehicles? Well, let me know in the comments below what else you want to know and what you think of the Lexus RZ compared to Toyota bZ4X. I'm sure there's a lot more information coming down the pipeline, but for now, I'm super excited and can't wait to share more things with you. By the way, I would truly appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up, make some comments, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But until next time, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.